Did you know that you are attracting everything that happens in your life, including your lack of money? And even more surprisingly, right now, you are vibrating at the frequency of what you fear the most. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But this is not philosophy, this is physics. The law of vibration is the root of everything. It governs your mind, your body, your success, your failure, and most importantly, your money. Now honestly, tell me, how many times have you thought this isn't for me when seeing someone rich? Or asked yourself, why does it seem like only others prosper? Today I'm going to show you why this happens, and most importantly, how to change it. I used to think that money was hard to come by, that it only went to others. I thought maybe I wasn't born with that gift, or that the universe had distributed the opportunities while I was sleeping. But one day, the truth hit me like lightning. Money is energy. And everything in the universe vibrates. You, me, and money too. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract money so easily, while others who work hard all the time continue struggling to pay their bills? It's not about luck, it's about frequency, vibration. What you emit every day, consciously or unconsciously. Everything vibrates, nothing is ever truly still, not even a stone. Science has already proven this, and Einstein said, everything is energy and that's all there is. Now listen carefully. If everything is energy and you are too, then you are vibrating all the time. And the frequency you vibrate at determines what you attract. Want to know how you're vibrating? Look around you. Your bank balance is a reflection of your internal frequency. Your relationships, your body, your home, everything, because the universe responds with absolute precision to your predominant vibration. It's like a radio station. You can't hear jazz music if you're tuned into a heavy rock frequency. The same goes for prosperity. You won't tune into the frequency of money if you continue vibrating scarcity. Now answer me. What do you feel when you think about money? Anxiety, fear, insecurity, anger? Or do you feel excitement, certainty, gratitude? The answer to this question reveals exactly what frequency you're vibrating at right now. Most people live trapped in a spiral of fear. They think, what if I can't pay the bills this month? What if I lose my job? What if everything goes wrong? They think they're thinking about money, but in reality they are vibrating scarcity. And that's what they keep attracting. And do you know what's most interesting? These people are sure they are trying to prosper. But the truth is, they are fighting against the tide with thoughts and feelings that pull them deeper. They are trying to swim forward with an anchor tied to their ankles. And that anchor is the frequency of lack. I worked in places I hated. Always with little money, low energy, and no hope. Until one day someone said to me, you are creating your reality with what you feel every day. That shocked me. How could I be creating something I didn't want at all? But it was true. I was only thinking about what I lacked, vibrating fear, worry, and doubt, and the universe was just returning that to me. That's when I started studying and dove deep into the law of vibration, and I learned that everything starts with the mind. Every time you think about something with emotion, you activate cells in your brain that send out a wave, a vibration that affects the field around you. It doesn't matter if you call it the universe, the quantum field, or anything else. What matters is that it works all the time, for everyone, including you. I stopped focusing on what I didn't have and started vibrating with what I wanted to experience. I visualized the life I wanted, felt it as if it were already real, and acted as if I already had it. At first it felt like acting, but little by little my frequency changed, and with it my reality. You might be wondering, but Bob, how do I change my vibration if everything around me shows the opposite? How can I vibrate abundance when I'm in debt? And I say, you don't need money now to vibrate as if you already have it. You just need to decide to change how you feel, because feeling is vibrating and vibrating is creating. Close your eyes. Imagine what your life would be like if you had plenty of money. Imagine waking up and knowing you can choose whatever you want in your day. Imagine paying your bills with joy. Imagine traveling, donating, investing, achieving, and smiling without weight on your chest. Now feel it. Live it, even if it's just for a minute. Your body begins to change, your cells react, and the field around you adjusts. Without realizing it, you start attracting opportunities you didn't see before. Do you think this is coincidence? It's not. It's physics. When you change your frequency, the reality that matches that new vibration comes to you. And this is not about pretending nor about deceiving anyone. It's about training your mind to vibrate with purpose. It's about using your consciousness to create. It's about understanding that you are not a victim. You are the creator. And the question I leave you with today is, if everything you feel is shaping what you live, do you really want to continue feeling what you feel today? If the answer is no, then change it now. Because you can, because you deserve it. Because it's within you, it always has been. Have you noticed that everything you experience today started as an image in your mind? Maybe you didn't consciously realize it, but that's exactly what happened. The image you hold internally with consistency and emotion is what shapes your entire external reality. Your health, your relationships, your money, everything. Most people think things happen from the outside in. They think they'll be happy when they make more, when their debts are gone. They think they'll feel at peace when they have financial security. But that's not how it works. It never has. It's the opposite. First, you need to feel that security from within. See that prosperity with the eyes of your mind. Imagine this new scenario with clarity and frequency. Only then does it begin to manifest. The big problem is that almost no one does this consciously. People live with distorted images in their minds. Images of failure, rejection, fear, and scarcity. And without realizing it, they feed these images every day. When they look at their bank account and say, "This is never going to work." When they think, "I won't make it this month." When they feel jealous of someone who is thriving. These images become patterns, and those patterns eventually become reality. You may be asking, how do I create a new image if everything around me shows the opposite? And I tell you, the image does not come from what you see with your eyes. It comes from what you choose to create in your mind. This is the most amazing part. You have the power to create whatever you want, without depending on circumstances. In fact, you must do it despite the circumstances. I remember the first time I sat on a small sofa, alone, in a rented room, on a street called Maplewood Lane. I had no employees, no money, no structure. But that day I closed my eyes and said, I'm going to build a company that operates worldwide. And I wrote it down. I wrote it as if it were already true. And every day I read that sentence as though it were an inevitable prophecy. At that moment I began to live with an image. It wasn't just a vague dream. I saw my company, I saw the people working with me, I saw the countries, the offices, the packed seminars. I saw myself speaking in front of thousands of people. And most importantly, I felt it as truth. Even without any evidence around me, even when everything outside was saying this is crazy, inside, it was real. And you know what happened. Decades later, when I was already older, I was at home when I received a call from my partner, Mikey. She said, "Bob, we just got confirmation. Our company is now present in every country in the world." In that moment, I went back in time. I remembered the paper, the image, the vibration. What started as a solitary thought had turned into a global reality. Maybe you think you need luck, connections, capital, or education. I had none of that. What I had was an image that grew so strong inside me that the universe had no choice but to respond. Now I want you to stop and think. What image are you feeding? When you close your eyes, what do you see? I learned this truth through personal experience. Several years ago, before my life changed, I was drowning in debt and barely surviving. I was earning less than I needed to live. I had no education, no skills, and no confidence. I was honestly the picture of failure. Then a man, Ray Stanford, gave me a book titled Think and Grow Rich. He said, create an image of what you want. Live in it. It doesn't matter what you have today or what others say. Just see it, feel it. That's what I did, and everything started to change. Now I ask you, why do you think you still don't have what you want? Is it because you don't deserve it? Of course not. Is it because you haven't had luck? That's a lie. The real reason is simple. The image you have of yourself and your life doesn't yet match the life you want to live. Change doesn't start with your salary or the government or your boss. Change starts in your mind, in the image you accept, nourish, and feel to be true. Start writing every day the life you want. Put it into words, see yourself already living that life. Feel it, vibrate it, and act as if it were already real. At first it may feel strange, but soon your system begins to adjust and reality begins to respond. You are the only person who can change that image. And when you change the image, everything around you will change too. Have you noticed how many people study, work hard, and still struggle with money? It seems unfair, but it isn't. It's simply a lack of awareness of something fundamental, the paradigm. A paradigm is a set of beliefs and mental patterns that control over 90% of what you do, and therefore the results you get. Most people have been taught since childhood that money is hard to come by, that it only comes to those who already have it, and this idea silently settles in. When you believe, even unknowingly, that you don't deserve to prosper, that you don't have the profile, or that this isn't for you, the universe reflects that exactly. I've lived this. I earned less than I needed, lived in debt, and blamed the world. But the problem was my paradigm. I believed life was a struggle, and the universe, obedient as always, returned more struggle to me. Then I met Ray Stanford, and he said, "Bob, everything you experience is the result of the image you hold of yourself." That sentence shook me because it was true. I needed to change my internal image. And look, knowledge alone isn't enough. Many people have read books, attended seminars, and know what they should do, but the results don't change. Why? Because the information stayed in the conscious mind. It didn't reach the subconscious where the paradigm lives, and it's the subconscious that vibrates, attracts, and creates. I met a woman who exemplifies this perfectly. A single mother deep in debt who believed a woman alone can't get rich. But one day she decided to change that belief. She wrote, visualized, repeated, and changed her vibration. A year later, she had paid off all her debts and started an online business. She told me with shining eyes, "I'm living proof that the paradigm is not destiny." And that's true. Science confirms it with neuroplasticity. You can reprogram your brain, but it takes repetition, emotion, clarity, and most importantly, decision. So I ask you, what do you still believe about money that is secretly sabotaging your life? As long as these beliefs remain, the results won't change. But if you truly decide to change this programming, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Because the problem was never the world outside. It was the pattern inside, and that you can rewrite. There's one truth that changes everything. You don't need to know exactly how things are going to happen for them to happen. What you need is to align with the right frequency. Because when you do that, the right people, the right ideas, the right resources start to appear as if drawn to you. But this isn't magic, it's vibration. And that's how life works. It's always worked this way, even before you knew this principle existed. A lot of people ask me, "Bob, how did you attract partners, opportunities, success, and without education, without knowing anything about business?" And the answer always starts the same: frequency. I aligned with what I wanted. I vibrated in the belief that everything I needed would come to me, and it did. I met Sandy Gallagher, for example, when I was already old enough to think that everything in life had already happened for me. She was a top-level lawyer, a financial expert, someone I never would have imagined as a partner. But she appeared, was captivated by the principles I taught, dove right into our work. And today she's the CEO of the company I dreamed of building in the 1970s. This happened because I kept the image, because I kept vibrating what I wanted to live and more, because I didn't need to control the details. I trusted that if I vibrated on the right frequency, the rest would fall into place, and it did. Now maybe you're saying, "Bob, I don't know anyone who can help me. Nobody supports me. Everything seems hard." I understand, I've been in that place. But believe me, you don't need external support to start. You just need to adjust the internal, because when you do that, the external will respond. Stop trying to convince others. Stop waiting for someone to come save you. You are the one who will bring everything you need through your vibration. When you consistently align yourself with a certain frequency, a natural flow begins, attracting opportunities, ideas, people, and signs into your life. Suddenly, you come across an inspiring book, a revealing video, or a meaningful conversation that opens your eyes and shows you that you're on the right path. Do you know why most people give up before they achieve what they want? Because they are still stuck in the vibration of doubt, which blocks their progress. They start imagining a better life, but their old paradigm quickly interrupts with the question, "What if it goes wrong?" And without realizing it, they return to their old frequency. And what happens next? More of the same. More struggle, more exhaustion, more repetition. But listen closely, because this can change everything. Doubt is a poison that kills dreams before they are born. Faith, on the other hand, is the antidote that turns thoughts into reality. Faith in what? In yourself, in the process, in the law, in God, in the invisible that organizes everything you are about to experience. You don't need to understand every step. You just need to decide. You need to choose clearly what you want and commit to that vision, even when the world shows you the opposite. Because the right vibration always precedes manifestation. If you want to thrive today, break free from debt, limitations, and mediocrity, then you need to vibrate as someone who has already overcome all of this. You need to think, feel, and act like someone who has options, freedom, and confidence, even if your current reality doesn't reflect that yet. That's what separates creators from survivors. And if I can extend an invitation, it would be this. Try living the next few days as if your new life has already started. Walk like someone prosperous. Breathe like someone at peace. Speak like someone who knows where they're going. React like someone who has control over themselves. This repeated experience will reprogram your system. It will change your vibration. And when your vibration changes, nothing around you will stay the same. You no longer need to chase after things. You just need to become the person who attracts what they desire. And it all starts with one simple decision. Change your frequency and let the universe do the rest. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And who you are is entirely tied to the frequency at which you vibrate. When you understand this, everything changes. Because then you stop trying to change the world outside of you and start changing your inner world. And that is the turning point. Now that you understand how your vibration creates your reality, it's time to go further. The next video that appears on the screen will take you one step further in your personal growth. It's another essential piece in the puzzle of your transformation. Click now and join me, because together we'll take another step toward your best version. All you need to do is be willing to be 1% better today than you were yesterday. Thank you so much for joining me up until now. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.